Okay, so here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. We're going to be talking Arsenal. We're going to be talking Emery, and we're going to be talking Steven Gerrard. So the last time we spoke, or I spoke to you, I was very. I believe that Arsenal needed leadership at the top, and they needed someone with Mourinho who had strong leadership skills to lead Arsenal out of where they currently are to moving forward to a place where they can win titles under a manager who knows how to win titles, not just in the Premiership, but in Europe as well. So that's where I was with that. Recently, it's been just, well, revealed that Mourinho now is in talks with Bayern Munich. My only question would be as to why Mourinho would refuse to go to Arsenal. And when I ask this question, I'm more asking the point what the board would have put to Mourinho and why Mourinho would have refused it. And while in that negotiation with the board, if this is the case that he may well be negotiating with Bayern Munich now, whether the board gave Mourinho the impression that his hands would be tied. Because if his hands are tied, then that doesn't bode well for any manager, regardless of who the manager is. He'll just be coming as a name to be basically a puppet. But anyway, here's one guy here that has plenty to say for himself. That's Emmauel Petit. Now, Emmauel Petit, former Arsenal player, played for 3 years at Arsenal from 1997 to 2000. He believes that the only way the club can turn their fortunes right around is by sacking Emery at this minute in time. Sack him. This is what Emmauel Petit has to say. He says, I believe it's time for Unai Emery to leave Arsenal. The results are not good at all. I don't recognise this team anymore, and I don't recognise this club anymore. Arsene Wenger built this club for 20 years, and there was concern as a generation after generation came and went, but now they look like an average team without any inspiration or creativity. And I don't think that's solely down to the players. My opinion is that most of the players have given up on Emery, so it's time for him to go. Various possible successors to Emery have been named in the press, such as Mourinho, who's said to be Arsenal targets. Petit, however, suggested the next person to take charge of the Emirates should be one of the London club's former players. He added, people may laugh at me, but I wouldn't mind seeing a former player on the bench. Is there a former Arsenal great you could call, like Henry or Patrick Vieira? Pick one. There are so many. You even have Freddie Ljungberg already in the dugout. Patrick has done a very good job over the 2 years at Nice, though you don't know what's going to happen at the club as they've just been bought out. So we'll have to wait a few months to see what's going on there. I'm also closely watching what's happened to Napoli with Ancelotti. I think he would be a very good manager at Arsenal. Well, I've always said that Ancelotti would be brilliant for Arsenal. Petit also singled out Liverpool legend Steven Gerrard, who is impressing in the Scottish Premier League with Rangers as the blueprint for a type of manager Arsenal should target. The club needs a great leader now, the Frenchman finished. Someone who can bring back the passion, someone respected by the players, someone who can fill the team with energy and a winning mentality. Steven Gerrard, for example, is like this. I want to see passion, emotion, someone who, when he takes your hand, you can feel the electricity. I want someone who can bring that to the Arsenal dressing room because they need to wake up. Well, okay, my friend, Emmauel. Why Steven Gerrard? He's at Rangers. I'm not being funny, but Rangers is hardly, or the Scottish League is hardly the most challenging league in the world. Than Steven Gerrard. What is wrong with? I think Ancelotti would be brilliant. I think Mourinho would be different. Whoever the manager is, two things. Whoever the manager is that comes to Arsenal, if Arsenal want real change, one has to be a manager who is the proven goods, who has won Champions League, who has won the Premiership, or has won Europe, who has shown he's able to take a club from where they are to go forward. That's what has to be the prerequisite for any manager coming in. Steven Gerrard, with all due respect, hasn't done that. And I heard my friend today, we were talking about it over the phone, and they said to me how Gerrard can't wait for his opportunity to go to Liverpool, so he'll come to Arsenal. No, that's not the prerequisite. Let Gerrard and his Liverpool ambitions stay exactly where they are. All right. That's why they've got Klopp in the job and not Gerrard in the job. They've got a manager who they've believed in, they've seen success, and they know he's a successful manager, and they stuck with Klopp. And look what Klopp is doing now for Liverpool. They're stuck with Klopp, and now Liverpool look like they could bring the bacon home next year and be title champions. Whoever the manager is at Arsenal who comes in has got to be a strong character. He's got to be a motivator, and he's got inspirational, and he's got to make some tough calls. He's got to make some tough calls if he comes to Arsenal. He's got to decide which players he believes he can get the best out of and which players have to go, regardless of what the fans may think, because some fans will say, you know what, I don't think Ozil's the guy for the club. I think Xhaka should go. But this manager may come in and say, you know what, I can work with both of those guys. And there's some managers that can come in and turn both of those players around. Rather than going and spending X amount of money to get players, he might say, you know what, I can work with this team. So that may happen. The board, though, Arsenal board have to change. They have to change their way of thinking. They have to move with the times, and there has to be a bit of pride. There has to be a vision. What is the club? Where does this club want to be? What is the future? You know what I mean? Don't talk to me about the Invincibles or the Immortals, or talk to me about, when we Arsenal, we won the double. I don't want to hear about that stuff. That's done. That history's done. You're a mid-table team, right? A mid-table team now that lacks ambition and vision, and you're just slipping down the table from being a mid-table team to a team, if we're not careful, will be fighting relegation. So whoever the manager is that comes in has to be allowed to operate. And, you know, Wenger's a strong character, but if you put Wenger's track record up against Mourinho, it's a non-contest. Mourinho has gone on and won the Premiership. He's won the Champions League. He went to Man United and he did it there with them as well. So Mourinho is going to be no nonsense. And he's had that break as well. Sometimes, manager can be better after taking a good break. He's had a nice break now. So he will be re-energized. He'll think about things. I think he's a better manager from it. I can tell you now for a fact, from coaching, I've coached over 20 years. When I tell you something, that break you have when you've constantly year after year after year, just back to back to back coaching, and you're just not stopping, and suddenly you stop, and you have a gap, and all that stuff, the mistakes you've made, the things you think you can improve on, you come back with even more invigorated. I always called Ancelotti's name for Arsenal. I always thought Ancelotti would be the perfect man for Arsenal. Always felt it. Ancelotti, a guy who I wouldn't mind seeing at Arsenal as well, Roberto Mancini. I wouldn't mind seeing Roberto Mancini at Arsenal as well. These are guys that are, they're tough guys. They bring passion to the game. I like Mancini. I always thought Mancini would end up becoming Arsenal manager. We'll see. You're going to need somebody who's inspirational. You know what? You wouldn't do bad. I mean, I know that Henry got sacked at Monaco. Right? But that's Monaco. How would Henry do at Arsenal? To you, even better still, who I would really like to see at Arsenal. I know you talk about Mikel Arteta, right? I wouldn't mind seeing Patrick Vieira. That's a guy who's a natural captain. He's got leadership about him, and he led from the front as Arsenal captain. But they need someone who's won. I just believe, for me, if I'm Arsenal director, I want a guy who's got a proven track record, who I can look at and say, okay, so what do you want here? Well, this is what I need to get us to the promised land. Arsenal need to know how to get to the promised land. And Emmauel's not going to show you how to get to the promised land. And I don't know if Emmauel's hands are tied. That's the only excuse I got for him. Otherwise, he looks like a school kid out there. He doesn't seem to have a clue what's going on. They need somebody who's going to be able to work with their hands untied, for me. So, is Gerrard the man for Arsenal? Absolutely not. No, Steven Gerrard at Arsenal. No, you wouldn't even have him as a player at Arsenal, let alone have him as a manager. How'd you work that one out? I don't understand it. I don't get it. It don't make no sense to me. You know. So you'll think about it. This is what people say. You've made a good point on why Mourinho turned the offer down. Well, that's what I'm saying. The Mourinho would probably turn the offer down if the ball. We've got to find out why he would turn the offer down. I don't know if he has turned the offer down, but if it's a case of him not be able to let his hands free to do what he needs to do, then. And then the other thing you've got to ask yourself the question: if you're going to bring players into the club at Arsenal, players that want to come to a club where there's uncertainty. So there may be a struggle for players to get actually top quality players to come to Arsenal. Arsenal can't say what they did before. Before there was a club that players would come to. Would players come to Arsenal now? Why would you come to Arsenal when you can go to clubs like potentially Man United, Man City, Liverpool? Everton seems to be on the rise. Wolves are playing exciting football. Leicester City. Why are you going to go to Arsenal? Why are you going to Arsenal? Look at it. Leicester City have recently won a Premiership title. So now, why would you want to go to Arsenal? Why would a manager want to come to Arsenal unless he wanted a real challenge? And if you're going to put yourself in a position to go for a real challenge, I want to take Arsenal to be the best team in Europe or the best team in the world or whatever. You need to be able to go in and say, right, I'm in the driver's seat. I can buy the players I need to buy. I'll be backed by my board. The last thing you want to do is get yourself in a position where you're not being backed by the board. You don't want that. Gerrard's most memorable moment was slipping against Chelsea at Anfield. Gerrard's so miserable, never liked him. Well, got to be careful what I say. One of my friends is a Liverpool supporter, and they really did suck it to me this weekend when I thought that Man City was going to beat them. So, yeah. Most boring, dull person ever. I don't know about that. He's got a nice combination. He's got a nice 1-2 in him, Gerrard, when he was in the pub. So if you want to punch up, Gerrard's all up for that. No problems. But no, I've got nothing bad to say about Gerrard. I just don't think he's Arsenal. When I look at Gerrard, I don't see Arsenal. I don't see any connection between him and Arsenal. None whatsoever, apart from he played against Arsenal. I see no connection there. Patrick Vieira, Dennis Bergkamp, Thierry Henry. I see those things. I see those guys. Lundberg. But I don't see. Yeah, I can see Ranieri as well, the Tinkerman. Ranieri's all right. Ranieri's all right. But if you're gonna give me the choice, I'm gonna go with Ancelotti because he's got won European Championship as well. He won the Champions League. So I like Ancelotti. Lampard was the gifted player. Yeah, Henry, Vieira, Freddie England, yes, legend. So yeah, but because you're a legend doesn't mean you're a good manager. That's the thing. We hope that because they're legends, they could be. You know what? Yeah. What happened? I know what happened to Ruud Gullit. Is he still managing players or managing teams? Gullit. Viali. What happened to Viali? What's going on with him? The other guy, remember that we're talking about Arsenal potentially years ago was Martin O'Neill. Remember people used to talk about Martin O'Neill? Their status is so golden, I wouldn't mind it. Even if they fail, Henry and Dennis are all-time great status at any club. Yeah, they have. But you see, the problem is here. Even if Henry were to come in, what are we banking Henry on? I mean, when we think about Henry, he's almost like a god. When you think of Henry, you think about all the great goals he scored. When we see him on TV, He's on a set and he's talking football and it sounds great. But those are situations that he has some sort of control over. He can take control of the situation where he can put the ball at his feet and score a goal. He can take control. He can run 40, 50 yards and score a goal. He can do that. But management's a little different because it's not just about you now. You're having to get that 100% at 11, another 11 players, right? So, then you're not always popular. When you go on Sky Sports, you sit down in the chair, people say the great Henry. When people say Henry, playing football, he's a great player. But now you're a manager and you're out on the touchline, and you're going to have to get stick from the fans when things aren't going your way. Is Henry that kind of guy? Can he come through stuff like that? I'm not so sure. So the image of Henry is great as a footballer and as a pundit, but as a manager, I don't know. I'd love to say him do great things, but I don't know. Zidane and Lamps, that's another guy. Another guy I think would be Arsenal? Zidane. Zidane would do great for Arsenal. Zidane would be great. I'd rather have Di Matteo over Gerrard, but Lamps' run was short. Zola failed at Watford, so management can be different. I'll never give Henry stick. Ever. Never. Henry's better than Pele and Cristiano combined. They could get us relegated. You wouldn't. Trust me, you wouldn't. The love affair of Henry would go very quickly in frustration, getting ripped, and you're getting beat by teams like Watford, and you're getting beat by Crystal Palace, and you're getting beat by Burnley. You'll soon change your tune. Right? I think it's a love affair that Arsenal fans have with Henry. That's not real. It's and he hasn't managed. And what happened with him at Monaco? Nobody knows what really happened in Monaco because we've still got that memory of Henry being the great player. When I went back to Emirates to his return goal versus Leeds, epic, that best ever. Yeah, I know. I feel all that stuff. But that's him as a player. That's not him as a manager. As a promoter, maybe. As a promoter. As a footballer, maybe. But not manager. But this guy, we're looking, this guy here, totally clueless as a manager, best player ever. But you look, this guy here, do you really, Arsenal fans, do you really want this man to be your manager? I mean, I just think that I think the board are so clueless. Why would you even target Steven Gerrard? I'd invite him to be a manager so we can have a laugh and do Mexican waves. He's always welcome to go on, Henri. Why would you want this man as manager? Really, this guy? No. I know he's managing my cousin at the moment up at Rangers, but no. No. Big no. And I can't believe, if I were man, if it was me, then I would have given Manuel Petit a kick for that. I mean, you can't talk about having Gerrard as your manager. Man, get out of here, man. Right, I'm out of here. Hope you've all enjoyed the short video here. Arsenal fans, what do you think of Steven Gerrard being announced as Arsenal manager? That's not good. All the Arsenal players we could get, you're going to go for Liverpudlian. Listen, I've got nothing wrong with Liverpool, but no. No. That's as bad as having Frank Lampard coming and managing at Arsenal. No. No. I mean, you could say, oh, yeah, but, you got Mourinho. He managed Chelsea. And he managed Man United. Yeah, maybe he did. But he went to Man United and he managed at Chelsea. So, hey, that's all right. So, let me know your thoughts on it anyway. Great to hear what you think about this. But if I had my choice, my top three would be Zidane, Ancelotti, Zidane, and Mancini. Mancini, Zidane, Ancelotti. Right. No, sorry, and Mourinho. Those four. But Mourinho, I think I've had to toss up between Mourinho and Ancelotti now. If I had the choice, I'd probably go with Ancelotti. But I'd love, But I'd love to have Zidane at the club. I'd love to have Zidane at the club. Right, I'm out of here. I'll speak to you soon. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments. We're out of here. Take care.